Good evening, Randomizer fans, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Fall League 2022 Finals. My name is Lord Frisbee. Joined with me in the booth today is Danny. How's it going, Danny?
Going pretty well. Excited. This is sure to be something. What
This
yet, we don't know, but
Mhm.
it's gonna be a thing.
It will be an event. You can't not say it's not an event. So we've got 8 people on the stream today, and let's talk about what exactly we have going on. We have a relay race. Once the gate drops, our team members in the first position, for the alternate time loop, that will be Two Big Eyes. For the Temple of Friends Revisited, that will be Shumbabi. They will start. The rest of the team will sit there. And essentially, they're going to proceed until they light the first orb. When they light the first orb, second player starts. When the second player lights the second orb, third player starts, etc. Once the fourth player lights the fourth orb, they are allowed to go to Topher. We're going with the co-op script here, so whenever we find key items, everybody gets the key items. This includes orbs. We've got a free airship. We've got a free ship, free canal. We've got Northern Docks on, just in case we want to make a fun trip to Onrak. Everyone is in team chat. Everyone is spectating their team's feeds in team chat. And yeah, flags. We've got full entrance shuffle. We got floor shuffle. We got big, huge, very, very big enemy scaling and boss scaling. We have no loose, but we have random incentives in ice, ordeals, and sky. We've got. Let's talk blessings real quick while we have a couple minutes before they get off to the races. So, fighters today resist fire and ice, and they get plus 20 MDef at the cost of no bracelets. Thieves get improved Thor hammer. They get the wood armor bonus, but they start with 30 less health. So I hope you enjoy 1 health thieves. Black belts get plus 20 health, plus 5 luck at the cost of 10 vitality. Hope you don't want your black belts to have any health. Red mages start with warp at level 8. They get 2 casts of it. They start with 10 vitality. They don't get access to Invis 2. White mages, what do we got? Well, after they promote, they get fighter armor, and they start with plus 2 to level 1 MP at the cost of minus 1 hit percent per level. Black belts, black mages, they can equip thieves' swords, they can hurt dragons, but they never get access to warp. So already I'm looking at red mage for fast warp, and I'm looking at fighter because default resisting things is pretty strong. But we might find ribbons in shops because elite gear in shops is on. I have said a lot of things. Danny, do you have any thoughts?
You said all the things that I would have said and probably more because you remember things better than me. But no, I think you covered most things. Like you said, big co-op, 4 people on each team. So this is going to be interesting to watch. A lot to see, track of. Bosses are chunky. And want to give a shout out real quick to the people who are going to make this manageable for Fizzle and I, our trackers. We have Ravioli, Soptum, Forsaken Sadness, and Flower Power, who are going to be helping us keep track of what all is going on here. Otherwise, this would be impossible.
So they should be starting any second now. Three, two, one, engage. Let's go. There we go. Haha. So right in the castle immediately, we have an Invis hammer and a pro cape in our dwarf cave in Canaria Castle. I saw Vorpal in that weapon shop. I could not quite get some of that other stuff. The Zap gauntlets out of the armor shop. Level 1 magic, white magic. We've got not really anything I care about. Black magic. We've got fast. We've got brack. We've got cake, I guess. Anything fun? And a key item for sale already in Canaria. We got the tail.
And with Floor and Entrance Shuffle on, like, that tail could be really useful if we find Bahamut early. That
Mhm.
Cake and Brack, granted, maybe not what you want to see at level 1, but like if you come across a really early Lich or a really early Kraken or Tia, and you manage to take those fiends down fast, that'll get your second teammate in the game.
Mhm. So already a Titan spotted. Something I spotted Shum doing is he used the first encounter. He basically measured how long the first encounter was off the reset just outside Canaria. And as soon as he figured out what it was, he didn't want the levels from the imps. He just wanted data on how long that encounter takes. And then he's off beelining Cardia, looking to try checking as many entrances as possible. Meanwhile, two big eyes gonna hit TOF first. Finding our Canaria castle. Gonna get one free item here. It's the slab. But we'll see where he heads after this. Meanwhile, Shum, not opening very many boxes, encounters a dead end and leaves.
Yeah, with no loose items, like right now, you're not necessarily worried too much about, opening boxes. So this is like just exploring and finding where things are for him.
Two big eyes opening the boxes in Titans gets a Brack shirt for the trouble. And Shum is headed back into the Sky 3 floor that he bypassed earlier. Finds the bottle. So there's our random key item that is in Sky somewhere. Very easy access. In an area that should be checked quickly. The density of Cardia is just so much that like you should check that as soon as possible. Shum also finding our first fiend sighting. And we're gonna see what we can do. Level 1 Brack versus a Kraken.
And you got a really long run there off the arts. It's like, he can easily get there. Maybe. I might have jinxed him.
And
Okay, I did. It's fine. But like, get there is just, you're gonna need good turn order because like he hasn't taken any fights anywhere at all. So like, this is the squishiest of squishy parties.
Mm-hmm. And an
Oh,
incoming Bane. No, that wasn't Bane. That was Dark. Nobody can see, but we don't need to see where we're going because we got Brack strats. Broken into pieces. Down goes Kraken. And as soon as we make it to this orb lighting tile, away goes Luffy. We are now at 2 party members online for the Temple of Friends Revisited. Question chat. So how is this working? Like, what is the goal? So, first team member has to light the first orb. That team member can no longer light orbs. They can still play the game, they can still explore stuff, they cannot light any orbs. Second team member comes online. The second team member's goal is to light the second orb. After that, they can explore, they can they can explore, they can grind, they just can't light orbs. Then the third team member goes, etc. Once all 4 team members are in motion, the fourth team member has to light the fourth orb, and then once they do, the whole team is able to enter Temple of Fiends Revisited at the same time. It's basically a relay race. We're using the co-op script, so the orb lighting is shared across team members, so each player will have to light one orb.
Also, while you were explaining how this works, we saw two big eyes found Sarda, which had the canoe, and Shum found Bahamut, which he has not fought his tail yet, but we know there was a vendor item, so if they do want a class change, you can easily go buy that once they have a little bit of money and do a very early class change.
So let's see. Shum finds Crescent Lake and gets TNT for the trouble. There's a lot of
And
caster items at Canaria Armor Shop.
yeah. And we've seen Dwarf Cave already, so we know where we can go to turn that TNT in.
Meanwhile, Two Big Eyes opening boxes in Earth Cave finds a temper stick for the trouble. That's a solid find. So what is this TNT gonna turn into? It's a cube.
Hey, and fancy that. We know where the cube block is.
Mm-hmm. So back into the air. We found the attacked town. It's Gaia, location Dwarf Cave. We got any good level 7 magic? No. What about that chop?
Doom finding Lefane, which is great once we know where, we have our slab translated in Almond. At least we know where we can turn it in.
Question chat, is this the last race? This is in fact the last race. This is both teams going head to head at the same time. Winner take all for the title of crown bearer, crystal holder, dude winner of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Fall League. Also possibly solving the murder mystery.
I mean, that all sounds pretty correct to me. That's gonna make for one long Discord title, though. Anybody know if there's like a character length on the role names?
We'll just make it an acronym. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So, pirate fight down. We get an Oxyel for the trouble. Definitely not sad to see that in entrance floor shuffle.
It's one of those items you always want to find before you find the town that like you need it for.
Meanwhile, Shum finds TOF. We got a Garland fight down. As soon as we talk to Sarah and walk outside, where is our TOF today? It's at Ordeals. Oh, there are few places in free airship that are just the absolute worst to check. That just they're absolute last place you ever want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Ordeals. So
Sure is. Because there is never a time when that walk does not feel long. Also, really good magic in like level 2. We've got Lock 2, we've got Warp, we've got Temper. We don't have any black magic like AoE in that slot, but those are still all spells that are really good to have, especially in these flags with like our higher boss settings. Like that Temper and Lock, you're probably really gonna need.
So Princess hands us Crystal. Meanwhile, over in Provoca, looking at our level 2 magic, over in White Magic, we've got Life 2, we've got Invis 2, we've got Cure 3, Harm 3 if you're into that kind of thing. Meanwhile, over in Black Magic, we got Warp and Temper and Lock 2. Level 2 really loaded.
Also, not entirely sure how do we get through Carrie, but we know where Carrie is.
Okay. I don't recall seeing anything, like I don't remember seeing any big weapons or anything, but Two Big Eyes coming across on-rack. We can't go downstairs. Hayden Chat pointing out that, well, we got a confused staff. At this scaling, I'm gonna want something more reliable than a confused staff. Oh, interesting. And Prophet of Retro is going for a reroll. Going black belt triple red. Fascinating.
One of the benefits of like a race like this with relay race, like your teammate is able to tell you, hey, this is the thing that's like, these are the spells I'm finding, these are the things that's whatever, and you can decide before, like, this is the party I'd rather take, instead of getting halfway through and going, man, I really wish I had this party instead of the one I'm rocking.
Mm-hmm. So 11 minutes in, and Temple of Friends Revisited has found one of the two annoying things in Floor Entrance Shuffle, one of the splits. Second Temper Stick sighting in a Canaria treasury. Two Big Eyes has kind of a lot of gear right now. We just need to find a fiend to poke.
Question in chat. Do all 4 players have to be Chaos? Yes, they do. Just dawned on me, like, I know we had the guy at Mountain Pass on these flags. It's one of those things, it's like, neat flag. If you're newer and you didn't know that was a flag existed, we now have a little bridge to just take you, or like, just, it's all nice and neat all through there.
We've got our first ribbon sighting. Shum picks one up on the Agama floor.
Question in chat. Is Two Bad Guys just looking for a dungeon with an orb? Yes, he has to light an orb to bring in his the second player on that team. So as soon as he finds one, is able to get through that, then they will have a second player up for alternate time loop.
Worth noting, it was my excellent strategery that has landed me in the booth tonight. But were I playing this flag set, like priority number 1 is to get like a second player in the field ASAP. Once you have 2 people in the field, then you're able to cover a lot of the world as fast as possible. Once that third player gets into the field, I would expect that first runner to possibly shift to some kind of grinding mode, just to be sure that they can get through Topher while 2 and 3 continue exploring. Unless there's some kind of a nightmare chain out there somewhere, then maybe could consider leaving everybody in exploration mode. It's really going to come down to, I think, the skill of whoever's in the 4th position to be the solid closer, because they're going to have the least time in this world, and they're going to need to get Topher ready and ready enough to kill a 4th fiend as soon as possible. They're going to have a lot of key items. They're going to have a huge experience bonus, but they're going to have to go find the things that all their teammates have found before them.
Yeah, like everywhere their teammates found the weapon they need or gear they need, they're gonna have to go check all those boxes, and they immediately work like on levels and getting that 4th orb down. And as for alternate time loop, I know I saw 2 Big Eyes go to the Temple of Fiends location, and if I recall correctly, that's where we saw Carrie. But with what they have in the magic they have, we're not getting Carrie down yet. Unfortunately, they haven't found Kraken in double bottom in the Cardias, which is where Shum lit his first orb, because, you know, level 1 Brack in a dream. Sometimes it works.
Restreamer pointing out that if we make it to Melmond, there are opal bracelets for sale. We have so the shops are not just randomized today. We've also got really good gear, and we've also got the elite and caster gear. Could we find ribbons and Maza for sale? Absolutely. Will we? We might. Maybe not.
Also, looks like I missed it, but we got our second orblet on Temple of Fiends Revisited. Although I think Luffy is a bit behind. There's a bit of a weird delay. So I think this is him lighting that second orb that brought in our 3rd player.
Yeah.
So note for those watching, and Luffy had an internet oops, which put him about a minute behind. So you're going to see him doing things a little late.
Yep. It is a very precarious circus that we are performing for everyone tonight.
Mhm.
That we only have one technical oopsie. And chat pointing out, Shoom just re-rolled.
Interesting. Well, if he hasn't
And that
gotten a
looked
lot
like
of levels and stuff yet, that might
that,
not be the worst thing.
and that looks like Thief Black Belt White Black.
Boy, we are rocking a lot of different parties today.
Mhm.
And Big Eye's about to find himself a Kraken.
Yep.
Now, if his brack works just as well as Shoom's did, we're going to see Prophet jumping in here real soon.
Yep.
And Luffy re-rolling.
Interesting. So they're really taking to heart the idea of preparing while the quote-unquote active player goes to light orbs, and they're committing to a reroll. They must have found a good tile somewhere. They have to have.
I did see them checking.
Or they found a good overworld grind.
Overworld, I'm going to say probably not, simply because like that first run is long.
Right. So it's got to be a tile somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, and poor... Hey! As soon as I started to say poor Big Eyes, brack ain't working so well. It lands! We got there.
All right. Alternate Time Loop gets their second player on the board. Temple of Fiends Revisited still at 3. Kind of leaving Chanigan to just go off and do his own thing as Shoom and Luffy enter grind mode. Two Big Eyes and Prophet are going to be looking for wherever they can find a second Fiend.
I know we mentioned how with parties, when the next person comes in, they'll have to go get the equipment, they'll have to go get all these things. What anybody now doing, if they found a really good tile with a black belt, is smart about is most of the gear and all the things you're going to need to find, you're not going to need. You're not going to be looking for armor.
Right.
You're not going to be going to get your weapons. Pickles is going to be able to come in if he brings a black belt and do nothing but go get magic, go get levels, take out that fourth Fiend, and just call it a day. Any gear he's going to need is like bracelets and pro rings. Like most of the things, it's going to negate like a lot of that backtracking your other teammates have done.
Of the things we've seen so far, the things that I would be the most interested in going out of my way to pick up, the ribbons, the opal bracelets, and the temper sticks. Those temper sticks are going to be, with the boss scaling that we've got, those borderline necessary, depending on how many blackcasters you got.
You just have everybody with temper and like a big old black belt. Like we're just going to like punch things into orbit when we're going through Topher.
Mm-hmm. Another opal bracelet, this time a free one, in wherever Waterfall is. Alternate time loop picking up the crown. Looking at our available go mode items, I can see that Temple of Friends Revisited has acquired a key. Neither team has figured out where the loot is yet. I know that we've seen our random item in Sky. I do not believe I've seen anyone hit the ice loop yet, and I don't believe anyone has gone inside of the Ordeals dungeon yet. Not Ordeals location, but like the actual literal castle Ordeals.
I saw somebody go in, but I don't know if they made it all the way through.
And Two Big Eyes took a look behind... No, took a look at the tile at the Q block and decided, nope. Oh, our restreamer hate correcting us. They wiped out of Ordeals. It was not a voluntary exit.
I knew I saw them there, and I knew I didn't see them leave there. So I wasn't sure if it was voluntary or wipe. I just know they didn't get through. But I knew we had seen it. Also, thanks, Hate, for being our third set of eyes, because, boy, following all this with just do is a little... It's fine.
So we did spot an iron goal. With the scaling, I don't know that I trust that for a black belt tile. I think the defense is going to be too high unless we have some kind of lightning on a stick. But with the curated magic that we've got going on, that's going to be at best a lightning 2 stick. So I don't think we're going to want that.
Also, and watching Big Eyes just remind me of some fun flags we have on. You want that class change? You're fighting Bahamut, and he's gonna be a bit chunky because he's buffed.
Yeah,
he's not allowing promotion easily.
No, you got to earn it. You gotta
Gotta
beat him in a bar
it.
fight.
Gotta work for it. It's a true promotion. You have to earn it.
So 2 Big Eyes following through with the slab translation. I do not recall seeing a Lefane.
We have seen it. I don't recall the exact location, but I know we've seen it. We saw it before we saw Melmond.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is...
One of our trackers, Forsaken, informs me that Lefane was at Mirage Tower. So we need the chime to access that, which unfortunately I don't believe they have yet. Chime was at the bottle turn-in, which alternate time loop has not acquired yet. So 2 Big Eyes is full clearing mermaids, hoping for something that's good in there. And Restreamer Hate once again helping us spot things like the fact that 2 members of Temple of Friends Revisited were camped out on the same tile. It was the 2-4 Agama tile. Not a bad option, all things considered, as long as we can kill them.
Looks like we might be having a teeny bit of trouble with that.
And without save on game over, it's a case of nope, you gotta survive the grind.
It's a little hard to see, at least I don't know how much, to see the exactly how much health they have. However, they're taking a lot of magic to get down, so they're a bit chunky, these Agamas.
Yep. And it looks like Chanigan has also arrived. 3/4 of Temple of Fiends Revisited is having just a grand old time at Party Grind Central, and poor Pickles and Beer is off to the side, still on the bench going, hey, y'all forget we got that 3rd orb coming, right, guys?
Just sitting on the bench, waving occasionally as they go by. Just, don't forget about me. Same thing going on over on alternate time loop side. 7 and Fred, just remember we're here, guys. Tag is in anytime.
2 Big Eyes and Prophet are still in exploration mode, whereas it's Agama o'clock over at the Temple of Friends Revisited.
Oh,
and I believe Luffy has broken off. Or maybe that was a trip back to the party member store. That was a trip back to the party member store.
Yeah.
It's Chanigan now who has peeled off and is going to a different location. Is this where our fiend is? It is.
Yes.
Meanwhile, alternate time loop finishes their bottle turn-in, gets their chime, so they have access to Lefane. They saw what was at Northwest Castle, the crown turn in. Whatever it was, they really didn't like it and just reset out of it.
Yeah, and I like that play by Shenanigan. Like, go get some levels and then go and try and take out this carry, because you're not getting through it without one, levels to take a punch, take spells, and like we're not strong enough to take down this without a lot of cast of magic. So we've got a lot of fades and nukes flying at this carry, and carry's just like, you're gonna have to try a little harder.
So down goes Thief, down goes White Mage. The Red Mage still casting Fade, still chipping away. Huge shot to the Black Belt. It's just the Red Mage that's left. Down to Fire Strats, and another melee takes it down. Are we going back to the grind tile? Yep. Well, alternately, we might be in search of Tia. Tia has not been spotted yet. Tia is the one fiend I don't think we've found yet. And we've not looked beyond the Rod Lock. And I don't think we looked beyond the Cube. No, did we look beyond Cube Lock? We might have. I know we've seen. I know we've seen under Oxyel, and I know we've seen behind Chime. So I think it's just Rod. Maybe it is just Rod. Rod, definitely Rod. Maybe also Cube. But there's our loot. Shum doing the slab turn in that alternate time loop is prepared to do now. They turned in their slab. They got their Chime.
Also, I know we weren't sure what Astos had. Pat's saying that it was a +2 item. We have Excal and we have Katana incentivized in these flags, and if it was either one of them, regardless of the plus or minus on it, I mean, we're rocking a black belt, which I'm not sure which one it was or if it was one of those, but that would make sense why they just noped out of it, because it's no use to them. And it is quicker to just say nope than take an Astos fight for an item you don't need. So.
So it looks like largely the grind strat is over. Shum and Luffy back in exploration mode. Chanigan back to carry.
We just saw the adamant turn in, and I think it was the herb.
Looks like...
Yep, and we got our cube, so...
So it looks like Chanigan is going for Confused strats. As I take another look at that party, I believe it's actually Thief Rainbow. So we need that Confused to stay where it is. Confused still there. But we're going to have to claw our way through, I believe, 250 to 350% health on this carry. For fans of real actual numbers, that is 12, 1500 to 1500 to 2100. Which is going to be a while on Fades and Fire 3s. And down goes Carry, Orb lit, Pickles and Beer off to the races. All 4 members of Temple of Friends revisited now on the field.
Would you believe me if I said I've seen them in voice chat practicing a lot this week?
I would believe you if you said that, because I've seen the same thing. And Chanigan now re-rolling.
Interesting.
Ordinarily, I would have thought that the third player would have been too far along to re-roll. There must be some very big brain strategery going on here, and I think it has something to do with the fact that that was Thief Rainbow, and we have decided we now want a black belt.
Yep. I think he brought the party in that was going to get him through carry, and it's like, you know what? We're good now. We're going to go get our levels, we're going to go get our magic, and we are just going to punch, things and magic things that we got lots of levels. Meanwhile, we're still, I'm pretty sure, looking for Tia, so we got a bit of work cut out for us over there for Pickles. He's got to get his levels. He's got to get Tia down, which, hey, level 1 Brack, you never know.
So we've got both teams essentially at this point on a hunt for the rod, which might be in this Ordeals. We just need to get past this top floor. Unfortunately, and stop me if you've heard this before, the spiders have a script.
Darn it.
Danny the Spider Queen's legend continues as we've got and Two Big Eyes resets out. Shoom gonna see made it to the first box, but there was an encounter right next to it, so we gotta wait. Makes it through the man-cat fight. What do we got inside? And there's a rod. So we now have the keys to all the doors. We just got to figure out where that door is. Like every other fetch item that we've got is just going to take us on a chain that's going to lead us to Excalibur Katana. And Pickles and Beer already at the scene of the rod lock. Probably level 1 Brack in hand. At the scene of the blaze spiders. Level 1 Brack in hand. So while they're going, alternate time loop, Two Big Eyes back into the top of Ordeals. As long as they make it through this tile, they're going to get the rod in short order. Prophet of Retro, still on the hunt for orb number 2, has found the Agama floor, though. That's got the Agama fight that Temple of Friends Revisited was super into. And makes it down to the Lich floor. This will be the second orb that they light, and that will get 7-7-5-7-7-5-7-7 into the race. Here now, the Mighty Lich. What are we going with? Are we
Level
doing
1
Brack?
Cake.
Cake,
we've
there
got
we go.
Cake at level 1, yeah.
I had to squint real hard, but that seems like Cake. Second serving, the birthday boy retires to his room for the night, and we're going to get a third party member.
Who was really ready to go.
I mean, 34 minutes in, I would just be leaning over my desk at this point.
Oh, I'd be super antsy.
And Fred is also going to re-rolling into black belt strats. So worth noting, Temple of Friends Revisited, very uniform approach to this, I'd say. They're all leaning hard into black belt. There's just some disagreement on the support that they want to carry with them. Alternate time loop, I see 2 fighter parties. No, I see one. I believe that was fighter and no, that was a weird thief. We've got 2 fighter parties and 2 black belt parties with some disagreement on the support, I think. Fred thinking very carefully about the naming convention that we're going to choose here. But also going for the black belt triple red. Looking at the available magic, so what are our red mages got? So we got warp out of the gate. That's neat, but we've already done a lot of our exploration. We've got Brack, we've got Fast, we've got Life 2, we've got Temper, we've got Nuke, Cure 4 after promotion. Yeah, we've basically ticked the boxes on kinda everything we want. And bear with us as we have just teensy bit more technical difficulty.
I mean, it was bound to happen, right?
Luffy, please.
Between Luffy's internet and this. I mean, if we would have made it through all of this without any technical difficulties, I'd immediately left after this and bought a lottery ticket. I'm just
Right.
saying.
So, Prophet made it through Lich. 75777 is off, and there's two Big Eyes who has found Tia. He can't kill. Well, he can kill Tia, but he can't do anything with the orb after that. So effectively, we treat it as you can't kill Tia, but he can feed that information and say, "Hey, 7777757, please go to Rodlock immediately with your level 1 Brack so we can get all 4 players on the field."
Oh, it's so weird to see a squishy party open a menu and 3 orbs lit.
Uh-huh. The magic of co-op.
I was gonna say, how'd you do that? Magic.
So Pickles has returned to the vampire fight, going with Ice 2, Punch, some kind of insta-kill. Vampire opens with Dark, I don't think we care. Nuke goes out. Down goes the vampire, through we go. Downstairs to the Tia floor. That is a full inventory of items.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile... Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, probably same thing your alternative time loop gets their loot.
And they have decided to hang their hat on the Iron Gall grind. They're going for Zap strats. Zap is not the worst thing in the world to use against Iron Galls, but it's no guarantee either. They're starting to run into a little bit of resistance on this. I think they're hoping to get the black belt up high enough that it can just punch down, and I don't know if we can get that much before 32.
And re-roll number next.
Question chat,
where
was Ruby? Ruby wasn't in Sky 3, that was Bottle. I don't know where Ruby was. And Two Big Eyes has re-rolled into the Black Belt Triple Red setup. Oh, were there 2 items on Sky 3? Interesting.
Oh.
So meanwhile, Shum is present on the Rodlock floor. Is there something here that we desperately want? Mayhaps a ribbon? As Pickles and Beer is at Tiamat. Believe our first runner at Tiamat. What are we doing? We're doing Ice Sword, wait, brack. Incoming melee to the thief, but it's still standing. First brack, nah. Second brack, nah. The Ice 2 sword is present and definitely helping. We're gonna go with double weight, double brack. Incoming melee takes down one of the brack casters. Third brack, ineffective. Fourth brack, Morgan into Chargo. We got 4 orbs lit. The Temple of Friends Revisited is cleared to enter Topher at their own convenience. For some, it will be a little more convenient than others. So, Meanwhile, alternate time loop. They've got 757 on the Earth floor. Tia floor is next. We've got level 1 Brack. We've got all the pieces we need for this. Fred might start very, very shortly, and we'll need to hunt down a carry, which, as I recall, wasn't that difficult to find, so they might have knowledge of where it is.
I believe Carrie's at the Temple of Fiends location, a couple floors down, but...
We just got to get through this sky bridge first, which is teensy bit difficult. Luffy also on Rodlock floor. There is... Alright, I'm gonna figure out what we're here for. We're here for something. Something very, very important. Does the vampire chest hold something? Did someone do the LOL bad validation check and find something? They sure did. That's the ribbon. That's why we come back here. Yeah, nope, that makes sense.
Sure does.
Comment in chat. So it seems that alternate time loop is counting on Zap Bonks for the Iron Gulls. It's like it's alligator death rolling that RNG, but like it could work. Maybe. Meanwhile, 757 is on the Tia fight. We still got Brack charges. We have some Brack charges. The red mage is already out of Brack. Can this black mage get there? The meat shields are still in the way. The black belt is kind of participating. Ooh, a punch takes out the Brack caster. And the third member of alternate time loop is out.
Meanwhile, his two teammates are taking on a Bahamut fight. And unfortunately, for Big Eye, it seemed to go as well as that Tia fight did. We're still plugging along on Prophet's side, though. We might get through there. We are tempering that black belt for days. And Bahamut noticed and punched him first.
Please do not fall over, black belt. More temp. Oh, Cure 4 goes off. That's the one we wanted. Temper goes off. Incoming punch. Detonates a red mage. I think that was a fast. Let's try punch.
Ooh.
I don't know how much that was, but it had 4 digits, and that smear on the ground where Bahamut was is our prize and our promotion.
Meanwhile, 757 telling Tia, you can't scare me away that easily. Making his way back downstairs with a newly fresh acquired supply of Brack.
Alright, here we go. Trip number next for the 7th or possibly 5th member of alternate time loop. Ooh, Blaze from the R-Hydras.
And they got both Brackcasters, so we're resetting, trying that again.
Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Let's just try that again. Here's the thing. Would this be cured by a level grind? In theory, sure, but I would still go with this strategy of just like, no, it's here. Like the prize of getting through, you just gotta go for it, because then you can get your 4th party member online, and then you'll be in a much better position.
Yeah, exactly, because like you said, levels could possibly fix this problem. However, that puts your 4th team member much further behind than if this works.
Zap the Vampire, LOL. Free ribbon. Are we going to equip that ribbon on the Life Caster? No. All defense going to that Black Mage. Meanwhile, over in Temple of Friends Revisited, 2 more people very angrily talking to Bahamut about a promotion as Pickles and Beer is on the Agama grind. Not promoted yet, worth noting. Meanwhile, is on the bridge, makes it away from the R-Hydras, down a Life Caster. Might not have had life, but down a Life Caster nonetheless. We just got... You only need 1 Brack to stick, and then you got it. Going for invis strats. We're really afraid of melee on this. The incoming melee detonates the Black Mage. I guess we had a reason to be afraid.
Unfortunately, Tia noticed before we got our defenses up. Only 1 Brack caster. Ah, that's cute. Bye-bye.
Meanwhile, how is the Grind Battalion going? Oh, I can't tell from the health totals. I can see that we've got Prophet's Black Belt in first position. But we're not going with melee yet, so I think we can't be that high. Tracker in chat says level 34. Interesting. So, despite the fact that Temple of Friends Revisited has been Topher cleared for a good long while now, they're still preparing. They're still chugging away at the grind engine. And why are they doing that? Well, let's have a look at the scaling real quick, just to be clear of what we're dealing with here for bosses. Our stats are 100 to 250%, so already this is not looking good. Health is 250 to 350. This is definitely bring the heavy firepower. You're not going to make it through on tricks and RNG. You need sheer overwhelming power. And that's what Temple of Fiends, or Temple of Friends Revisited is in search of.
Simply put, fiends are going to be chunky.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to make sure that you can get through them, which is going to be lots and lots of levels. We want black belts as chunky, if not chunkier, than what we're about to go punch in the face.
Mm-hmm. All 3 fiend fights of the Temple of Fiends Revisited will get your attention. Lich 2 won't. Lich 2 gonna Lich 2. But the 3 actual fiends, they will have your attention.
Fred, so re-rolling and preparing, hoping this is the time.
So an Invis 2 goes off. Melee takes down the 2nd position meat shield. More Invises going off. Fred opting for double black belt, double red mage? Fascinating.
That sure is a strategy. Oh, that poor black mage.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
it
Brack.
Survived. And we get there!
We got there! Woo! See, all it needed was a little bit of, some words of affirmation.
Yeah, and some meme power from your teammate. So all 4 of alternate time loop is now on the field. Fred has got his work cut out for him. He has a long way to go, not just to get his party battle ready, but also potentially to make it through what has been so far kind of a scary carry 1 fight. I know Temple of Friends Revisited made it through on the back of the Confused staff, but it looks like we're gonna just go for overwhelming power. But we gotta find the grind strategy, and I hate to say it, I don't know if that Iron Gall is gonna work for us, but we're headed straight there.
Like, I could see where it was working a little better for his teammates who went in a little earlier already, had some higher levels, because they had the a bit of extra time. They could wait and rely on Zap to work.
Hmm.
It's a little scary going in this low level and hoping Zap gets through, because as you see, bad turn order, anything like that, and things aren't
Hmm.
pretty.
Hmm. Uh,
However,
Chanigan taking a Warmech fight. I did recall seeing the Sky 4 maze. If you just went up, there was the Warmech NPC.
mm-hmm.
So this is dangerous, but uh,
I mean, it
it
is, but he also took a lot. He killed a lot of Agamas to prepare
mhm.
for this Wormax. So,
Also apparently contagious because Luffy is also there.
everybody's got robot fever. Also, on Fred's stream, we saw that Zap land, and it landed after it took down the spare black belt and the spare red mage. So two of those characters got a ton of levels super out
Hmm.
of the gate.
Hmm.
Which actually could be really good for him, because like those two characters that have that magic on them could make taking that carry fight now earlier
Hmm.
a bit easier for him.
I was starting to think that the strategy might have been take 2 black belts and whoever survives wins, but we did reinflate both of them. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
we do still dream of double black belt strats, but we're parking at what I believe to be the carry dungeon. And we did a party jiggle, so I think we're already good to take down.
Mostly, this is. Eh? What?
Oh, and Schumann Pickles have also caught the Warmech disease. Warmech addiction syndrome is a serious ailment that will affect 4 out of 8 streamers in your local vicinity.
We cannot guarantee that later on in the night that the other team does not catch this too.
Oh, shoutouts to chat for Formac. Thanks, I hate it.
I can't say I'm completely mad at it. It made me chuckle.
So, the alternate time loop grind continues. Fred is on the carry floor. I have not caught what level we're at. I see 2 of them at double-digit health. But those 2 don't matter. What matters is, and yet the 2 lower health ones went to the bottom. Fascinating.
Maybe hoping to get the entire party through and the extra levels on those bottom 2, or not. Party jiggle it is.
Shoutouts to one of our trackers, Forsaken, who came back with that party is 21, 21, 8, and 9. But we've got our first Temple of Fiends entrance as well. Shum entering at, we'll call it 54:30, as Fred is on the carry fight, loses the high level red mage immediately, loses the high. Or nope, they got shuffled
Nope.
around, I think.
Yeah, he shuffled them right before carry.
Okay. Do a little bit more plunge. We're doing some temper strats. Ooh.
Be more specific next time, Fizzle.
Black belt goes down. 21 black belt is, I think, ambitious for these carry, for this boss scaling. Meanwhile, we've got a second entrance from the Temple of Friends Revisited, Chanigan, also on the scene. Luffy on their way. Pickle's still doing some grind strats.
I'm a little surprised with the red mages, unless they just don't have the magic or just they think that it's quicker with Zap, that they're doing these Iron Golds with Zap still when at these levels. It probably might just be faster to the magic.
Depends on their health. If they ended up like 6, 7, 800 health, yeah, I can see the Zap strats.
Sure, but you've also got 3 casters and someone who's got some decent levels on punching, so like.
Mhm.
I think at some point it might be faster to switch to, AoE instead of counting on Zap still.
Meanwhile, Luffy checking the bat hints as Shum pulls up to speed bump Mark II. So Kraken is confirmed to have nuke. At this scaling, I would almost rather have it. We're taking this fight a little seriously. I think I saw some buffing going off. Fast going off after the nick of time. 2 tempers going off. Incoming melee. LOL. Are we gonna go for nuke strats, or are we just gonna wait for the black belt to do its thing? We're gonna temper just in case. Outgoing punch. That had some numbers in it. Down goes Lich 2. 19 hits, 3,406.
I would hate to think that didn't take down Lich.
Look, sometimes you're just having the kind of day where you need to flex on Lich 2. I'm just saying. Meanwhile,
have to.
Meanwhile, Fred back to carry 1. Doing a little bit of reorganization real quick. Enters the fight. Zap shirt. No, temper shirt. Maximum temper. Test punch. Test punch connects. Looked like an okay number of hits, but we definitely want a lot more power. Incoming melee detonates the black belt that we were buffing. We've got a spare. It's not great. It does exist. Down goes primary red mage. Outgoing punch, a single hit. And down it goes. Fred is having not a great time with this carry 1 as Shum is through carry 2. Shum and Chanigan both through carry 2, basically hand in hand on the Kraken floor. Luffy rapidly closing in on carry 2. Let's see what we got out of this here Kraken fight. Chanigan doing a little bit of healing. The pull is almost simultaneous. Do we have similar strats? I see what I believe to be temper shirts going off. No, invis going off. Okay. We definitely don't want to be meleeed by this. An incoming spell doesn't land any hits. Now we're going to shift over to the temper strategy. Meanwhile, Chanigan was going offense, has lost the ablative meat shield. A super punch takes down Kraken 2. Chanigan is first through, and I know we got a life caster because we got a red mage. Shum having a little bit of difficulty with Kraken 2, but an outgoing punch takes care of that. Shum is onward. Luffy doing some last minute healing before he... Nope, actually made it through. Luffy has made it through to the Kraken floor. Meanwhile, while I was rambling about that, Fred has cleared through carry. Alternate time loop is clear to enter Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Oh yeah, Prophet was just sitting there talking to bats, waiting on him.
So 757 is in Melmond. Oh, for the free opal bracelets. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, big 2 big eyes. They're both there picking up gear.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Chanigan first to Chaos. I didn't even catch most of the Tia 2 fight because Chanigan just steamrolled over it. And here we go. It is Kraken Sayhags. We got Kraken 1, we got Kraken 2, we got 3 Red Sayhags, we got 3 Wiz Sayhags. The Krakens go on a melee assault. The Wiz Sayhags did roll a spell. They got fire something. Incoming melee not doing much. This nuke should take care of the Red Sayhags, maybe some of the Wiz Sayhags if we're lucky. 1 out of 3, we'll take it. Second nuke, out it goes. And now we've just got the 2 Krakens left. Switching over from AoE damage to punch damage. Incoming punch detonates the Black Mage. Hope we didn't need that for anything important. We got our fast gas going off. That's the important part. Invis going off. We want to try and survive some of this incoming melee damage. The Krakens have switched over to magic, which is not what you want when you start throwing up invis charges. We're going to go with some locks. We have a lock 2. Lock 2 is actually better here because it tags both of them. We're finally flipping over to melee with some locks. Incoming slow. I did not see if it hit. Outgoing punch. Squishes the first Kraken, but that was probably the easier one to take down. How about this second one? Temper goes off. Punch goes out. Down goes Kraken 2. Chanigan is through. Shum already through the Wiz Sayhags, going with some invis strats. Luffy through Tiamat on the way to the Chaos floor. Pickles and Beer inside Temple of Fiends Revisited on the carry floor. Oh, disaster for Shum. Shum's black belt was, I think, paralyzed and might have gone down. No, the black belt's in the bottom slot. The black belt is fine, seems to have recovered. Temper is going off. Fast is going off. Some healing strats. Outgoing punch. Kraken 1 survives. Locks going off. As long as we don't have any more paralyzed shenanigans, we should be good to go. More locks going off. Incoming fire ain't doing much. Incoming melee crits through evasion. Slow tags the black belt. But still makes it through Kraken the first anyway. All that's left is Kraken the second. Luffy also on the Kraken 2 fight. Not Kraken 2 as in the second Kraken, but Kraken 2 as in 2 Krakens. And Shum is through. 2 members of Temple of Friends Revisited have made it through the Chaos fight. How about Luffy? Can Luffy make it through? I think that was an incoming nuke. I don't think we've seen nuke on any of the Fiends so far, but it's been a little hard to keep track of. We've still got 2 Krakens on screen. We've still got 1 Kraken on screen. Tempers are going off. Can we make it through this Kraken? Incoming melee destroys the Red Mage. Outgoing melee, very impressive, but the Kraken's still there. Second punch, down goes Kraken 2. Luffy, 3rd member of Temple of Friends Revisited, is through.
Quick update on the other team. Real quick for Pickles takes on Tia. We have Prophet on alternate time loop, getting ready to take on Chaos. Big Eyes and 757 are on Lich 2, and Fred, names, there's so many. Is Dan both red mages and is just punching iron goals, trying to get those black belts up and leveled so that he can head in after his teammates. So depending on how this goes for Pickles, like the other team is right behind him.
So, Pickles on Tia 2, Prophet on Chaos, 2 more alternate time loop members on the carry 2 floor. How we doing with this Sahag fight? We have 1 fewer Wiz Sahag and 1 more Red Sahag. That's pretty good, but we lost one of our casters. We're going with the Invis strats. Do we have any more AoE left in the chamber? I don't see any level 4 spells on that red mage, so quite possibly not. Tempers are going off. Looks like we're going to take care of the Krakens before we take care of the Sahags. Not anything altogether bad about that strategy, as long as there's not anything dastardly waiting in the Sahag scripts. That looked like Slow missing the black belt, so we're still fine with that.
And Pickles getting through those tags a lot faster because he had an AoE. So he was able to get those out of the way, unlike Prophet, who's going to have to, looks like melee those down, which is a bit of annoying and time consuming.
But being in the front slot, you have the time to be able to get away with that. So Cure's going off, Stinger going off. Meanwhile, Pickles and Beer down to just 2 characters. Temper's still going off. Punch destroys Kraken the first. Still on Temper strats. The front ninja is surviving, getting crit through evasion, and down goes Kraken the second. Your winners and Fall League champions, Temple of Friends Revisited, with official race bot time 1 hour 7 minutes 18 seconds. GG.
GG indeed. Let's see. If we can get those launch spells in for an interview. Oh, we just got even more crowded. What's up, fellas? GG.
Hello.
GG's.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
So how was that?
That was better than any of our practices.
I started to say,
It was.
I couldn't tell that I've seen you guys at a practice room multiple times this week at all. Because boy, y'all were a very well-oiled machine over there.
Tried to be.
The practices didn't go that well.
Yeah, this was better than all of our practices by far.
Yeah.
So
Great time to have it, though.
That's just getting the bat out before a race. That's all that is.
Yep. And then Danny rolls Blaze Spiders again.
Yeah. Yep. Classic. Absolute classic.
I'm never, ever, ever, ever living that down. It just never happened. Because just when it's gone a little while and when it hasn't happened, then I do this. So,
and of course, it happens during finals.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be just like during a weekly that's not restreamed or anything. No.
So, I have a question. I noticed a whole lot of party re-rolling going on, which I believe there was quite a bit to the black belt variety. Was that calculated strategery, or was that flailing correction?
Strategic, 100% plan.
Yeah.
Every one of our practices.
Yeah, we always kind of start with a party that can get us off the ground, fighter, thief, whatever mages we need. And then it's absolutely, as soon as we find a tile or something, we re-roll to the black belt and we just make sure we take it to the end game there.
Outside of the ribbon, because I saw everybody go to the vampire chest for a ribbon, was there anything else that y'all opened that you really wanted to carry over into Party Mark II?
The 2 ribbons on Agma 4 as well.
Yep.
That was pretty much it.
Other than that, just get the
Just get the stuff in
bracelets.
Connecticut Town.
Yeah, all of the casting items in there. Temper Fast was level 1. Lock was very early level 2 or something like that as well. So it was. I don't know. I think Pickles opened 4 chests for like some cash. That's about it.
Ribbons. 3 ribbons.
Yep, that was it. That was it. Yep.
In the Brack shirt. Because I didn't know which
yep.
chest to open for the ribbon.
Here's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So catching up, Prophet and 75775 has terminated Chaos. Meanwhile, Two Big Eyes on the Chaos fight, and Fred finally finishes the grind, the double black belt grind, and makes it into Temple of Fiends. I'm trying to think of any other questions I had about this, but everything seemed pretty straightforward, except for it seemed like all 3 of you were taking that Agma tile at the same time. Was it just a matter of convenience, or was it a case of 3 people wanted to grind before taking on Tia, I believe was your last fiend?
We were doing it to prep for Bahamut, so we found that around 30 to 32, we can safely take the promotion because we want to get that black belt MDef on if we can't find a 4th ribbon.
Gotcha.
And then, we we were all discussing, like, did anyone check Earth 4 yet? And we're like, oh yeah, no, I'll get that in a sec. And then we come to find Iron Goals. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Two Big Eyes on the Chaos fight has taken down Kraken the First. Is, I believe, on... Nope, we were considering... No, we are committing. Wait. Punch. Super Punch, down goes Kraken the Second. Two Big Eyes is through the Chaos fight. Oh, right. So, talk to me about Warmech. Was that just because you could?
It's free levels.
It was free. He was right there. You didn't have to search for him. It was like a couple steps right up from the teleporter, first floor entrance. And he gives you some good ideas on what you're gonna see, maybe in Temple of Fiends. And like when I took him, he punched, I saw nothing, and then I think he had crack and nuclear or something other people saw. So it was not only just like because it was free, like Chanigan said, but also a little bit of gamesmanship, seeing what he actually had.
And it looks like Fred's stream just cut. Oh, Fred's OBS crashed. Well,
that sounds familiar.
We're going to see how many of Alternate Time Loop we can get in here for an interview.
I gotta admit, there was a couple of times where we lost Luffy, and the little person who's just their head and their hands, just like, oh no.
You're not the only ones who lost him.
Yeah, and we were also head and hands.
I don't feel like that could have ever been more appropriate for any race in which we have lost Luffy than this one.
Like the worst part about it was too, like when it happened, like my internet on my end would come back like 10 to 20 seconds before they could hear me, so I hear them like wondering where I am, and I'm like still exploring, trying to tell them what I'm doing. It was just something.
Yeah, I've had like that happen, like whatever cut out just briefly, like in co-op, which is bad enough, but like when you've got, it's not just one person, but it's like 3 people, like, where'd you go? Just come back.
Yep. Panic.
That's when you just have like the phone handy, so you can just like jump in on your phone.
I was close.
Oh, I turned my phone off just so my mom can't call me randomly.
Oh, like I mean, just like jump in on like Discord phone, but yeah. Like, sorry, mom.
Yeah, I know that life. Just silence the phone, throw it out of sight.
Yep.
Looks like we're gonna have to drag those fellers from the waiting room.
And we're joined in the booth by, as it says, our second winners, Alternate Time Loop. GG, you guys.
GG.
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 Thanks,
This
guys.
was fun.
I was wondering how we're gonna get around that one.
Yeah, hilarious.
I was wondering, is everybody joining today, or do y'all still have a cold?
Sorry, I was messing around with my stuff. No, the cold cleared up a little bit, so I think we're good.
Aw,
That's good to hear
I went
that.
out. I went out to my local Target and bought a mic. I'm good.
Fantastic.
Target
Glad to hear you
appreciate your
guys.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Alvin, Simon, and Theodore coming in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, don't make fun of my voice.
See, now I want to have
Uh-huh.
him sing.
Right. A little Christmas song.
So alternate time loop. How did that go for you guys?
It was a
pretty-
zappy good time.
Yeah, it was pretty electrifying.
Some say it was in another dimension.
So, talk to me about that Iron Gall grind. Was there ever kind of a thought that maybe you might want to investigate elsewhere, or was it always just like I have 4 Zap casters and I have Iron Galls, we're just living here forever?
Number 2.
We checked a few other tiles. We saw like Agamas, and we just decided the Zap strats was more fun.
Mhm.
So, I think the other question I have is 757. Was there ever a thought of going back and grinding a bit more before going for that 3rd orb?
Yes. And then there was a lot of regret. And then there was a lot of, oh, I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured we might as well just persist and push on through, and maybe RNG will be nice.
And I guess the last question I have is, so both teams had some very interesting reroll strats going on in this race. What was your reroll strat?
I think we're gonna see like the first couple runners would still help explore as their original parties. You know, not have to worry about regrinding before joining the exploration again. And then after we got to about the 3rd orb and we got like 80% of the map found out, we decided it was time to start rerolling, grinding, basically.
Between 2 teams, if this was a drinking game, we'd be hammered. There was a lot of rerolling.
Mm-hmm. And I'm out of questions. Danny, do you have any questions?
Every question I could have thought to ask, you got. So I think I'm good.
All right, then I guess we'll shuffle this along to final thoughts. We'll start with our winners and champions, the Temple of Friends Revisited. Y'all got any final thoughts?
My usual is just thank you to everyone hosting, restreaming. Thank you for putting this together, Fizzle, and everyone else on the Fall League committee. This was a blast to devote my last 2 months to, and especially with these guys around me. So I will let them speak so that I'm not speaking entirely for them. But again, thank you to everyone.
All right, Luffy, go for it.
All right. We'll go in order of how we started the night. Again, yeah, echoing that. Thank you to the committee for putting this together. Thank you to my teammates for putting up with me. I can be something to work with sometimes, and for carrying me on the week when I was on vacation. It was a blast.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate you. The practices were always so much fun. We were doing a lot of chatting. Our group chat was always very active. We became some really good friends. Shum and Chandigan and I have been together for about a year doing stuff, and Pickles fit right in, and it was really great to have him. And I thank him for joining us, and thank you FFR for hosting us. Thank you Danny and Fizzle for the comms, and Hate for doing what he could with 8 people on stream, and for the trackers, Soft Numb and Flower Power, and whoever else in there. Looking Forsaken Sadness, thank you, appreciate you guys.
And Ravioli.
And Ravioli, oh my god, thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Oh yeah, a bit like Luffy said. Thank you very much. I had a blast with Fall League. I think one of the best tournaments that we have. It's so much fun, and yeah, I really like playing with Shum, Luffy, and Pickles. That was such a blast. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I got nothing. They said it all. Yeah, thank you all for yeah, it was just a blast, and thank you all for putting on the restreams.
All right, and alternate time loop, second winners, but first in our hearts. Final thoughts?
I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a good time. My first tournament playing offense randomizer. It was really enjoyable. The teammates were really. We didn't really talk a lot at first. It was weird. And then we finally started to like click together. Barely were able to kind of get together a lot, but we did it and had a lot of fun. 757 is really funny. Actually, you guys should listen to it sometime.
It was really exciting watching the my teammates' dives because it's like, oh God, Kraken killed a red mage. That red mage had a family. There was so much excitement happening, and all these Topher dives were great. But yeah, this whole thing's been a lot of fun. I really like the feedback week. I think that's probably my favorite week so far. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
It was. Thank you, seriously, to the Fall League, whatever, the committee members. Thank you, for everybody out there. Thank you, Danny, for being awesome during the race rooms for me. And I'm not gonna lie, 757. Every time we've hopped into voice chat, I've died laughing every single time. I never realized you could have a voice so like that.
Such range.
It's like Tony Braxton here.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually kind of hard to concentrate with his voice. So like the first time we did one practice for this, and he hopped in voice, and we started talking, and that was the entire topic of the conversation for the 2 hours we practiced. It was great. Fred, well, his mic sucks, so there's nothing we could do about that. It was in and out, choppy noises. It was great.
It held up about as well as his OBS did.
That's not wrong with that one.
I completely sympathize.
It's really sad though. You guys missed a good final fight. We watched it on the Discord stream thing, and it was really hilarious the way his final boss finished.
He almost died to a Fire 3 Wisahag, but then he punched it.
Yeah, he killed the Krakens, and he had one Wisahag up with 2 low black belts left, and one died to Fire 3, the other one barely stayed alive.
Well, my co-coms, my partner in crime, Danny, final thoughts?
This was a lot of fun. Going into this, there's no way that this isn't going to be 7 kinds of chaotic, but every year it's a ton of fun. And a big thank you also to like the other people who were on crew with us tonight. The 4 that we mentioned that we're tracking tonight made this so much easier than it would have been just trying to watch 8 people and make sense of it and remember things. Hate for testing how well his computer and internet really work. Good job, held up well. And for everyone who watching, chat was a lot of fun. And Fizzle for doing comms with me. We got a message from Loopy. He's like, hey, y'all want to do comms? Like, hey, Fizzle, what you doing on Saturday? So comms with you is always a lot of fun. Can't complain about hanging out, calling a race with my favorite person. So yeah, this was just a lot of fun. And congratulations to we've had, the same team win the last 2 years. Darn shame they didn't play this year. They could have went 3-0. But we got new champs this year. So congratulations to Team Timberlift Friends Revisited and GG to Alternate Time Loop. They didn't win tonight, but they had a heck of a tournament and played really well. So GG to both teams.
Stick around, everyone. We've got upcoming in December, we have our second annual inaugural charity marathon, December 9th, 10th, and 11th. It is benefiting the South Carolina Firefighters Charity Fund that sends children burn victims to summer camps. It'll be great. We just got some prizes. We're going to get them posted shortly. And if you're on the more competitive side of things, we got the winter tournament coming in January. So keep an eye out on the Discord. Go ahead and join if this is your first time watching this. It's a lot of fun. We'll help train you. We'll train you to beat us. It's great. For everybody at the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, my name is Left Front Bumper, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.